Hey everybody, welcome back to Crypto Kings. My name is Matt, and in today's video, I want to talk about something that's coming up for Shiba Inu that I think could have very big ramifications for the price if done correctly. So if you guys are new, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more daily SHIB vids. Let's get right into it, folks. So if you guys did not already see this announcement, of course, it looks as if Kraken is going to be listing Shiba Inu tomorrow. Now, this doesn't sound like anything overly exceptional because who uses Kraken, right? Well, according to Kraken, there are around 7 million people that actually use it. It's been around since 2013, so there really isn't a way to discount Kraken completely because it's been around for a long time. And of course, they launched their mobile app back just in June, so they are a little bit new to that, but it does look as if there are a ton of people who use Kraken, a lot more than I think some people might realize. Now, the question is, when does Kraken list SHIB? What time do they list it tomorrow? I think that's kind of important. I know there are certain cycles that work where Asia wakes up and, the America, goes to sleep or whatnot, and, you have Europe in play. I know there are a lot of different time cycles based off of, when people are awake and asleep, but when it comes down to it, I would say anytime tomorrow would be great for Kraken to finally list SHIB. Now, again, they have only 50 plus cryptocurrencies, which might sound like a lot, but compared to some other exchanges, it's really not that much, and I think that is good in a way because that shows that Kraken is a little bit more selective with the type of coins they're actually adding to their app, and I think that generally having less coins is a good thing. Speaking of good things, if you guys want to check out Webull, guys, top of the link down below in the description. It is so easy to do, guys, to get started over there. Get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300 if you guys use my link at the top of the description, and of course, I would appreciate it because it is helpful to me and the channel as well, so I appreciate that, and let's get on with the video. So if you guys have not already seen what SHIB has been up to, essentially it has been decent. It hasn't been nearly as bad as I'd have thought a couple of days ago with this rounded top bearish pattern here, which did not look very good at all. It looks as if SHIB has managed to sort of completely ignore a lot of the warning signs that were coming from this previous run here. So it looks as if from the 31st onward here, this section can be called a completely different run. I think it's time that we could almost discount this entire run here because it doesn't seem to have much of an impact in what's going on right now. See, after this run, SHIB needs to cool off. I think a lot of people can agree with me on this, and I'll get some questions in my live stream like, oh, why do you want that? Well, I think a little bit of a cool off, just consolidating between a set range would be good to prevent long-term volatility, to sort of establish itself as not being just a pump and get out and dump. I think that is a better idea. So when it comes down to it, what I am hopeful for is that we stick somewhere between, say, 73, 74-ish and a bottom of 69, 70-ish. I think that is extremely reasonable, extremely fair, and if we could just hang out between this for the next week or so, that would be awesome. Now, the reason why this is so good, and I think a lot of people are sleeping well tonight knowing that this is happening, is because, of course, when you check the relative strength index, it doesn't look like anything wild is going to happen from this. Now, of course, the Kraken listing could trigger something that could lead to a breakout, and that would be wonderful, but it looks as if this is going to be stable, and you guys can see the relative strength index is keeping it here right around 50, which is fine, considering we don't want it to be overwhelmingly volatile, do we? We don't want it to be way into the 70s or way below the 30s, because when it comes down to it, that causes more future volatility. So if we are going to have a run, Kraken definitely could trigger this. There are a lot of people who've said, oh, again, Kraken is a small exchange. When you look at how many people are actually holding SHIB, it's around 750,000. This was just from a few days ago. So 750,000 versus 7 million, that is a pretty big difference. And even if you assume that a lot of people on Kraken would not be interested in SHIB, even if 1/7 were, that's a million people. And of course, I know we won't get a million more holders tomorrow, but Kraken definitely should help in the sense that they are another option. But more than that, just as a small exchange, or at least supposedly small, they could trigger some kind of movement that breaks out of this line of consolidation. So again, even if Kraken manages to push it just to maybe say 75 or 76 or 77, something like that, it could very well continue to go onward up until the 80s. So that is very possible if that happens tomorrow. I mean, it's quite possible if Kraken goes well, you could see something like this. I don't think this is going to happen, but it is possible. And again, Kraken may be the catalyst we need to be able to accomplish something like that. But if not, in the more realistic sense, Kraken may just help stabilize this line of consolidation. Obviously, having more good news coming out for SHIB is always great. I know there's been a lot of grim kind of bad news recently, and again, even a movement like this, I think would be pretty damn good. When we check a line of support, of course, I know a lot of people have been asking, where do you see this being a line of support? I see it being right around 60, and this still has not changed. Since some of my previous videos, it does not look that the 60 line has changed. You could perhaps make an argument that the line of support will now be at 68, 69, but that's a little bit more short term. I think when it comes to long term, for the next month at least, I do not personally see it getting below 60. If that happens, I think that would be generally not very good, and I personally just think it is going to stick above 60. When it comes down to it, our market cap is up a little bit here on the day, only around 1%, so you could say this is a break-even point here, right at around $39 billion, and a lot of people have been suggesting that this could potentially move up to one day, top 5 or whatever in market cap, and while that would be wonderful, would be a little bit tough to break through some of these barriers here, Polkadot being the sort of barrier to entry here into the top 8, so I think we're going to hang out at 9 for a while, but it doesn't look like Dogecoin is going to catch up anytime soon, so that is always interesting. When it comes down to volume, we are down a lot on the 24 hours, but it appears to be that we are more down on sell volume than buy volume, so there are a lot less people selling this than there are less people buying this, so in the end, it's not all bad. Less volume definitely does mean some stability as well. Of course, we still do have this circulating supply issue, which I know a lot of people have been very upset about, and I do think that is generally harmful in the long run. When we take a look, of course, at the MACD, which you guys can see here on the screen, it is giving us a soft sell, not a particular major selling point here, just a soft sell, so it is very possible this could sweep under, of course, and get back into the green with a buy kind of soon, so that is very possible. When we check the Fibonacci retracement, which you guys can see over here on screen, it's going to tell us some potential lines of support and resistance that we could look to expect. So we have the bottom here, which is right around 58, up until the top here, which is right around 75, and really what it is doing is giving us not an awful lot of information, except for the fact that this 23.6% line, which you guys can see, is going to be a little tough to maintain as support. You guys can see it is dipping below a little bit, but ideally it could bounce above this and stay right above 71, which I think would make a lot of people happy and would be slightly higher than my previous estimate for consolidation earlier, which I said would be between 69ish and 75. So if this line is to be trusted on the Fibonacci retracement, we could see some line of support at maybe 71 with a high, of course, at around 75. So that would be a little bit tighter, and if it could shift into this sort of barrier here, that would be a little bit better in the long run as well. So with that being said, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you all. Again, thank you guys for the amazing support on the daily live streams. My name is Matt. See you guys on the next one. Peace.